So hello and welcome to another episode of Oblak Gaming. Today we are going to be doing a box opening for the Valheim board game, and then we are also going to be setting it up and maybe playing through a few turns just to explain the basics of the game. I'm only going to keep this camera on for a little while. Apologies for the stand here. Just the setup is really hard. But yeah, we're going to get going. Hope you enjoy. Valheim is a computer game that I've put a lot of hours into. I really love playing, and I hope you enjoy the video. Alright, so we did buy we bought the deluxe version of the game on GameFound, and it came about a week ago. So what we're going to do is just crack this bad boy open. And the first thing we will notice about it is the way it is packed is actually really nice. So it's let me just find somewhere to put the lid actually. So inside we have some instructions, and we have some sleeves that came with the deluxe version of the game. We have the playboards, so we have 4 different playboards for the different characters. They're very nice looking playboards, so we will put those to one side for a moment. We also have a dice roller here, so it connects up like this and gives you a nice area to roll your dice in. And then there's the standard dice, which look like this. And then there's the fancy looking dice which came with the deluxe version, which look like that. So yeah, plenty of dice. Plenty of dice there. I'll put those just to one side for a moment. Then you've got the 2 rule books, very glossy and beautiful looking. This is the rule book. This is a scenario book, which we'll come back and explain in a little while. And then we have the various sets. So this is a house that you can build. I'm not going to do that right now, but I do have one that we built earlier, which is the again the deluxe version, which is a dice roller. And then we have the board setup. So these in the house. Let me just show you the board setup. I'll do that in a moment. So you've got these little things here to move out the trays. Then you've got game trays, you've got your character pieces and your abilities. You have your 2 boxes full of tokens here. And you have another box full of different bits and pieces with, again, the deluxe versions of the equipment. Then you have another tray with the various cards in it, very well separated. Put over there. We have the game board, and then we have the play pieces. So if you can see in there's a whole bunch of play pieces. Again, very nicely set out. You can just pop the plastic out here, and whoops. Pop out the plastic here, which I've done before, but doing it from the side is not a great. I should have stood up to do it, I guess. And then you've got the various characters. So we have, if you've played the Valheim game, you'll know some of these characters. We have Eikthyr, the stag boss. We have Treebeard. No, not Treebeard. Elder, the tree boss. We have Bone Mass, very cool looking figure. And then we have Moda. So this set includes the first 4 bosses, and there are some other creatures in here. We have some Fenrir, some werewolves, and we have some skeletons. So various bosses, various creatures, and yeah, all very cool looking. That is in the wrong way around, so I'll just drop that in again. Right, and is it the wrong way around? So a whole bunch of pieces there, game pieces, and we will get to those in a minute. I should just put these over there. So the game board itself, how you set this up is you open it like this, and then down the bottom end you have your, let me just make some space over here. I just want to put you on hold for a second. Okay, so we're back. So what we're going to do is we are going to, down the bottom here, we are going to make the player area. So this is the house, and this is where you are going to put your equipment and your food and your holiday purchases. So just let me get those from this box over here. So you have equipment cards. So just let me zoom in on this a moment. So what you have is you have various pieces of equipment, and so you've got like your wolfskin armor, you've got leather armor, you've got like a spiked shield, and basically all the things that you would expect to find in the Valheim game, like a bronze shield. And then there's a construction cost. So the construction cost for this would be 1 wood and 1 bronze. For this one it would be 2 iron and 1 wood, 2 silver and 1 wood, and so on. And then you've got some classics like, let me just quickly find a couple of the classics. So like a wooden club, a crude bow, a flint knife, and these green ones actually have an additional power. So this flint knife, if you use it when you're in the which I'll come back to in a minute, when you're in the hide area, you get a additional hide. This allows you to do growing, and this one allows you to get a +1 when you are mining. This one is tree cutting. This one is construction, gives you a free construction, and this one gives you a free cooking. So that's the equipment, and that would go there. I mean, you can technically split it. You've got your items, you've got your weapons, and you've got your armor. They're all face up, they're not random. You construct them as you want them based on the resources that you've got. Next you have the food. So food is basically has 2 areas. So it has the top area, which is what you eat if you haven't constructed a cauldron, and the bottom is what you get if you have constructed a cauldron. Okay, and then finally we have Eikthyrs items, and when you get the deluxe version you get the shiny ones. But again, there's various high level items which you can get, sorry, not Eikthyr, Haldor, when you buy things for 3 coins from Haldor. Okay, so just let me zoom out and I'll show you where they go. Alright, so the Haldor items will be placed on the, you shuffle these up and you put them over here, and the food will be shuffled up and will go here. Okay, and then you have a table, so when you do cooking you can flip over a card, put it here. If you constructed the food table you can have 2 slots, so you actually get 2 items every time you do cooking. So that is the player side. Then we have the monster side. So up the top here we have, for the 4 monsters, we have the arena for Bone Mass, we have the arena for Eikthyr, Elder, and Moda. I'm going to do Eikthyr for the first one, so we're going to flip this and put it up here in the monster area. Let me just angle that so you can see that a little bit better. So yeah, at the top we're going to have this, and then we are going to have the 2 sides. Here they are. So you have the side here for Elder with his hit points, and then you have the other side which is just to make it pretty, and it's going to fall off the table. Ugh. So let me just put this back, and then we will start playing a couple of turns. I'll get the player set up and then we'll start playing a couple of turns. So just bear with me a minute and I will be right back. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we are going to get the scenario book out, and we are going to so just let me talk about one thing first. So there is, when you buy this game, there is a scenario deck to explain how to play the game, and if you just follow them 1, 2, 3, it's going to explain to you how to set up the game, how to play the game, do all of the basics for the game. So if you haven't played before, I strongly recommend using this deck first just to understand the basics. Definitely worth doing. It was actually probably enough to get her straight into the game, so it was pretty good. So what you're going to do with the scenario deck is you're going to basically pick a scenario that you want to do. So I'm just going to look at this one to start off with. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get the Deer deck out, and it is over here. So from here you are going to take these cards out. So you're going to take all the level 1 and all the level 2s, and then you are going to shuffle up all the level 2s, and you're going to drop them in here. And then you're going to shuffle up all the level 1s, and you are going to drop them in here. Then you are going to take the free items, and you are going to put a free item for each player that is playing on the top of this deck. So if I am playing as 2 players, I'm going to get 1 coin and 1 wood, which I'm going to get from the resource trays. So the resource trays actually fit nice and snugly into these 2 little spaces here. So I will go ahead and do that. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to put 1 resource and 1 wood. I'm just going to do 2 players just to get things moving. So I'm going to put one coin and 1 wood up here on the boss, and then I am going to set up the board in this format here. So I'm going to get tiles corresponding to the different parts of the different biomes, and I am going to put those down on the table, and we will then start to set up the people. So just give me a moment and I will be right back. Alright, so the board is now set up. We have the stag heads in these 2 locations, and we have the armor there. So now we need to move to our heroes, and what we are going to do is just grab a couple of our game boards here, and we are going to set them up. So the first thing you are going to want to do is take the 3 diamond and the 1 diamond tiles, and you are going to pick 2 and keep 1 for each of the characters. And obviously when you're playing this normally, you have multiple players, so they will each be doing this. So let me just sort these out quickly. So there's a few of them, and you are going to pick 2 and keep 1. So these have various abilities on them and various costs. So what you are going to want to do is, so for example, for this one, what you are going to do is, if you use a weapon with fire on it to defeat a monster, for the remainder of the game you get +1 for weapons that have fire on them, and you ignore fire resist. Here's another example. So if you collect 5 or more resources on your turn, you get a +1 health or a +1 stamina from a resistance potion when you use it. And our last example, so if you defeat a large monster, you can spend 1 health to re-roll any attack die. Okay? So next we have the 3 diamond cards. And for these ones you're going to need 3 experience. So you're going to need to, for example on this one, craft an armor card 3 times. And then you gain the skill to use 2 stamina to re-roll a blank armor result. Here's another example. So if you craft 3 pieces of furniture, you get a +1 for weapons and tools that cost 1 wood, or that actually use wood in their construction. Another example, defeat a monster without taking any damage, and you get a +1 for all weapons that use 1 attack dice. So what you are going to do is you are going to blindly take a couple of each of these, and you are going to choose one of the 2 to put into your skill tray. So I'm going to go ahead and pull 2 here for this one, and 2 here for this one, and 2 of these here, and 2 of these here. Now, to start off with, I mean, you're not going to know what's good and what's bad when you start playing, but you're trying, I guess, to look for some kind of synergy. So, for example, these 2 here, this one is dual wielding or strong. So defeat a monster while outnumbered to get dual wield, which means you can use 2 one-handed weapons. Okay. And this one is strong, so if you collect 4 or more stone on your turn, you may spend 1 reroll to add a red attack die. So those are the 2 options there. And on these ones, the options are craft a piece of furniture +1 for weapons and tools that have cost wood. So actually, this one, coupled with the dual wield, could be very, very useful. So I'm going to just try that one. So we will go dual wield, and we will go with the attack the monsters. And then for this one here, we've got agile, so take part in 2 different combats on your turn, and you may pay a reroll to reroll a monster dice, which you can't normally do. And this one is tinkering, so you may craft anything that costs 3 or more resources, and you may spend 2 stamina to double a blue dice result, an armor result. Now this one I'm not really that clued in on. I'd maybe take agile as the single, and then for this one, defeat an enemy without taking damage, and this one is berserker, which is defeat an enemy without a weapon or tool, and you basically then have 2-handed weapons, have the armor piercing effect. Again, I would probably take the defeat a monster without taking any damage. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So now we've got our abilities. Next, we need to get our Odin powers. So the Odin powers are these, and these, there are quite a lot of different ones again. And just to give you some examples. So this one, very simple. Use 3 stamina to heal 2 health. Use 3 stamina to reveal any tile. Use 3 stamina to add a resource when rolling a resource collection die. So yeah, what you're going to do is you're going to randomly select a couple and pick one from the 2 that you want to use. So we'll do 2 here, 2 here. And the choices for this one are, so use 3 stamina to get +1 action or +2 move during a boss fight, and this is reroll all dice once. So I'll do the reroll all dice once there. And this one is remove negative effects for 2, and 3 to move adjacent monster to an adjacent space. So yeah, we'll get that one, see what happens. So when we actually do those actions, so as we're playing the game, if we were to craft a piece of furniture, I would get 1 white square to go into the experience box here. When all the experience are filled in, then we can use this bottom power. So that is it for the character setup. Oh, the one thing I did forget there is your health starts at full unless you're in campaign mode. And your stamina bar starts at the middle point here. Okay, so what we are now going to do is just move over to the side here, and like this, so that we can do a little bit of play. Sorry about the angle of all of this. I still need to work on my setup. But we shall now start with a couple of turns. Okay, so on a player turn, you basically get 3 possible actions, and you can do them. So if you're inside the house, you can cook, eat, craft, ignite a weapon, create a brew, fabricate a bomb, or check on the bees and get some honey. If you are outside the house, you may move to, you may collect, you may ambush, you may exchange, you may craft, sail or sail a ship, and you may start a trade with Haldor. But we're now on our first turn, and as you can see, we have no resources in the house. So player 1, who is this one, has 3 actions that they can do. So the first action is they are going to explore a tile. So we have no weapons, so if we do end up in a fight, we're going to have to fight with our bare fists, but we are going to explore this tile. So this tile flips over, and what you can see on this tile is you can see one monster and you can see some wood. Now the arrow at the top here needs to align with the board, so that will go here. And as you can see, it is divided by white lines. So this character will go 1, 2 to here, but as you can see, we've also spawned a greyling. So this is a greyling, and it has 1 black dice as its attack, and this is the elite version, sorry. The regular version is the green side. It just has 1 attack, and if you roll a bikudi, an exclamation mark, it's not going to do any additional damage. When you defeat it, you are going to receive, it's got 2 health, so you need to do 2 damage, and when you defeat it, you are going to receive a resin, which is over this side. But because we're in an adjacent square, we're not going to fight it this turn. We're going to move 1, 2, which is the movement, and then we are in a square with some wood, so we are going to do some wood collection. So I'm going to get my green dice, and I am going to roll it in here, and it is just a regular hand without an exclamation mark. So I gain 1 resource, which is 1 wood. So I take my 1 wood from here, and I will drop it in the shared resource pool in the house. Now I have another action, a third action, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay there and get more resources. If I had rolled a hand with an exclamation mark, the monster would have moved 1 step closer to me because I would have made a noise and it would come for me. But we will give it another try to see. And we rolled another single hand, so we are going to get another wood. And that's my 3rd turn, so that is my turn finished. And we are going to get one of these 2 resources that are on the card up here. And so we will take a 3rd wood for now. And that is the end of the first turn. So for the second turn, we have the axe-wielding maniac. And what he is going to do first is he is going to take a look at what he can construct. Now, because he has craft a piece of furniture as a skill, what he's going to probably benefit from is the hammer. Now, the hammer costs 1 wood to construct, so I'm going to construct it, but it also gives you 1 free construction as part of your turn. So he makes that, we discard 1 wood. And what we are now going to do, so that's the first action. So the second action is, do we want to make anything else at this point? And we're kind of limited because we only have 2 wood, but it may be worth doing something. Actually, maybe not for now. What he is going to do with his second action is he is going to go and take a look in here. Now, as you can see, there are 2 entry points to this square, here and here. So he can either choose to go in and fight this. So another greyling appears. So he can choose to move into this square and fight the greyling, or he can choose to go to here and then to here and do a search. So that's actually what I'm going to do. I'm going to move from here to here and do a search, because if I get this, I'm going to get a hide, And if I roll a bikini mark, exclamation mark, this guy's going to come and attack me anyway. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over here as a move. So 1, 2. So my first action, make the hammer. Second action, move 1, 2. Third action is I am going to get resource gather. So I'm going to roll my dice. And I'm going to get a single hand again without an exclamation mark. So I gain 1 fur into the pile. So that is the turn finished. At the end of the turn, we get the second resource off the deck. So from now on, we're going to be taking actual actions from the deck, and you will see a couple of those and see where we are. Okay, so we are back at the top of the turn, and we have this character on the wood. At this point, we have 2 wood and 1 fur, and honestly, right now, I probably still want to collect a few more resources before I go back. So I am going to stay there and collect some more wood. And this time I rolled 2 with an exclamation mark. So what happens is I get the 2 wood. So the 2 wood appears in the house. And because I rolled an exclamation mark, I made a noise. And it draws any characters from within 2 spaces into 1 space closer. So this greyling is going to move to here, and it is going to attack me. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 1 black dice for the greyling, and at the moment I just have the 1 yellow dice for my hammer here. So I have the 1 yellow dice, and then we are going to then keep rolling until combat resolves. So we're going to roll the dice, and we got 2 axes for me, which means I do 2 damage to the greyling. And the greyling did 1 damage to me, so I take 1 hit point damage here. So this, you can just see it at the bottom here. This goes down by 1. And so this dice has a blank, which means it does no damage. It has 1, it has 2, and it also has an exclamation mark, which also has an action. But on the regular greyling, it's nothing. So we beat the greyling. We get 1 resin, so that goes to there, and this greyling goes back into the monster box. Okay, so that's the first turn, and we gathered some wood. What I'm going to do is we have 4 wood now, which is a reasonable amount, but I'm actually going to do 1 more gathering turn as I'm here. I probably should have made a flint axe, but of course we had no resources when we did it, so I'm just going to stay there 1 more turn, and I'm going to get 1 more wood. And then I am, with my next turn, I didn't have the axe. Ugh, I used the wrong character. So when I was fighting, let's go back. So when I was fighting, I did 2 axes and took 1 damage. Now because I was fighting with my bare fist, because it was this character, this 2 axes actually becomes 1. Because it shouldn't have done that much damage. So we have to keep going in the fight. So this was my mistake, and we have to keep going. So we roll again, and this time 1 axe and 1 damage. So I take another damage, but now the greyling has 2, so it dies, and the same thing happens as we were looking at before. So we're back to where we were. So I did my second action was resource gathering again, and I am going to maybe just run to here and take a look. So I am going to go 1, 2 to here, and I'm going to just take a quick look at this tile. Okay, so this tile, we have to go into it, and it has a resource gathering with a berry bush, so I can spend a gathering turn to get health back. But it also has a greyling here, and it has necks, which is the little lizard creatures, and they are there. Now honestly, this is kind of a scary spot, because if we were to do a gathering here, get an exclamation, they would both move in and they would outnumber me significantly, so I probably don't want to mess with them. But it's the end of my turn, So I am going to take a encounter card and I'm going to take a look, and it says flooded storage. Remove any 3 resources from the shared storage stash. So unfortunately, even though we gathered all that wood, we're going to lose some. I am going to lose 3 wood because that's the thing we have the most of. And variety is probably good at this point. So that is the end of the turn. And now it passes over to this guy over here. So just to check, take part in 2 different combats on your turn. We did not. And then defeat a monster without taking damage. We did not. So next up, we go back to the second character. And again, we're in the place with furs. I really wanted to draw this one in, but I could also just move and attack. So I will go one more turn with the furs, just to see. Get another fur maybe. So we get another fur, another one. And we're going to drop that in there. And then we are going to move one to here, fight the greyling. So this time we do have a weapon. So we can get, if we get 2 axes, we are going to do 2 damage. So we're going to fight. So we get 1 axe to us and an exclamation mark there. As I said, the exclamation mark on the greyling doesn't do any damage. So we do 1 damage to the greyling. And then we're going to fight again. We miss and it does 2 damage to us. So 1, 2. That was kind of a painful little turn. And then we go again. 0, 0. And we go again. 0, 1. So I've down another one. This is not looking good. And 1, 0. So I actually can go for 3 stamina here to re-roll all dice once. So I may do this because this is starting to hurt. So I'm going to use 3 stamina. 1, 2, 3 to re-roll both of these dice. And we take it. It's dead. And we take another damage. So it was a painful fight. We get 1 resin for killing it. But it's now out of the way, and for our last turn, because we did gathering, move, and the battle ensued, so now we're going to do 1 more turn, which is going to be gathering again, but we're gathering stone this time. So we're going to get the green dice, we're going to roll here, 2 with an exclamation mark. There are no monsters to draw in, but we get 2 stone. Okay, all right. Right, so that turn is complete. We now go to the card again. This one is a neck ambush. So a large neck suddenly approaches. If you defeat it, get a food card. So this is a 1 health monster. So it's 1 health and 1 dice. So hopefully we should be able to take this relatively easily. Get 1 damage, but we do 1 damage to it. It dies, and the prize is a food card. So we're going to flip this food card, and you can see here the top one is the one we get, and we get 1 health, 2 stamina, and 1 reroll. So very useful. So the reroll is going to go into the slot up here, and we are going to get 1 health, and we are going to get 2 stamina. Alright, so that turn is finished, and we will go back to the first character here, and it's basically going to keep going like that. It's going to go back and forth and back and forth. If you want to pick up the stag head, the special rules in the scenario book, what you would do is you would roll again, the gathering dice. You need to roll 2 hands or the critical to pick up the stag head, and you would just basically keep progressing. So if you bear with me, I'm just going to play maybe I'll play another couple of turns, and you can see. So what I'm going to do is, instead of picking up the stag head, because I don't want to fight these guys with no weapons, because I'm going to be outnumbered with no weapons, it really isn't a good idea. So I'm going to move. So I'm going to go 1, 2 as a move. Second turn, I am going to move to here. And then third turn, I am going to make an item. So because I have a stone now, I'm going to make myself a flint axe, and I'm going to put that here on my character sheet. And that unfortunately is the third turn. So we are then going to do another encounter. So the greylings emerge. repopulate all empty grading spaces. So this one is the only empty space. This one luckily has my character in it. And this one just has a guy in it. So we just repopulate the space and we can go again. So for this guy's turn, he is going to do one more gathering. So we are going to gather a little bit more stone. And he gets 2 with an exclamation mark. The exclamation mark doesn't mean anything because there's no monsters around him. So he's going to get 2 stone. Oh, I didn't use the stone for the flint axe. So we've used that. So now that was his first turn. He's then going to do a move to come home. And then he is going to use, because he has the hammer, he gets a free construction action. And what he's going to do is he is going to make some furniture for the house. So this is the furniture list. You can see if you have 1 wood and 1 fur, you can make a house. And if you are in the house at the end of the turn, you get 1 health. 2 furs for a rug, and then you get throne, you get table, you get cauldron. So basically, let me just run through exactly what all of these will do. So if you have a cauldron, so if you have the the table, you can actually, if you cook, you can put 2 food out. If you have the cauldron, you take the bottom line of the food instead of the top line of the food. So obviously you can see that's a benefit. If you have a fire table, you can then ignite your weapon to make it fiery, which gives it a +1 damage. If you create the bomb table, you can obviously make bombs. If you create the fermenter, you can make potions. If you create the beehive, you can get honey. And if you craft a ship, you can sail. So what I am actually going to do here is I'm going to take 1 resin and 1 wood, and I'm going to craft the beehive. So this is the beehive. I am going to put it down here in my house. You can't see, it's just slightly off the page here, but I'm just going to put it in my house here. And that was a free action because I have the hammer. So I gathered, I moved, I created the beehive with a free action. Now, because it's a piece of furniture, I also get an experience here. So I am going to put my experience point here. And then what I can do now is I have a last action. I can either get some honey from the beehive, or I could, if I wanted, create another item. So for example, I could use this and this and this to make a throne. I could use this and this to make a bed. And actually that is what I'm going to do. That is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to use 1 fir and 1 wood, and I am going to make a bed. So I'll find that in a moment. So we have the bed, and it's the end of the turn. So if you are in the house at the end of the turn and you have a bed, then you can get 1 health back. So he gains 1 health here, and the turn will end. So we will get another card, and this one is Greylings on the move. So all Greylings move 1 space towards the nearest player. So he will move to here, he will move to here, and that is the turn completed. So next turn we will go back to this character here. We have 1 fur. I'm just going to check the leather armor. So we have leather armor is 1 fur and 1. Yeah, I think we're going to go that route. So I am going to, my first turn, craft a leather helmet, which is 1 fur and 1 resin. And the leather helmet goes onto the character. And then she is going to, so that was the first turn. Second turn, she will unfortunately move to, maybe I move to here and try. Let's move over here and just see what we have here. So, yeah, okay, so we move into here. And as you can see, there are 2 Greylings and a chest. So what we're going to do is we are going to put 2 Greylings and a chest in there. Now, because I've moved in here and I am fighting, I would be outnumbered. Now, if I'm outnumbered, if I actually take a damage from the monsters and I'm outnumbered, that damage is increased by 1. So if I rolled a 1, it would be 2 damage, and if I rolled a 2, it would be 3 damage. But what I can actually do here is, because I've moved into this square and I've initiated combat, if my friend is within 2 spaces, so within his movement distance, 3 if he's got an additional ability, but if he's within that, he can actually use 1 stamina to move to my square and help me with the combat. So that's what he is actually going to do. So he's going to move there and help with the combat. So what's going to happen is, because I've initiated the combat, I'm going to go first, and now I have 1 yellow dice, 1 blue dice, right? So yellow dice, blue dice, and I'm fighting 1 greyling at a time, and I'm no longer outnumbered, so I will just roll these 3 dice. So we have no damage, 2 block, and no damage for the monster, so nothing happened. So that was my turn. Now it actually goes to the other teammate. So he would roll 1 versus 1. And we've got an exclamation mark, which is nothing and no damage. So we just keep going back and forth now, fighting 1 monster, and then when that first monster dies, we're going to go for the second. So he crafted 2 bits of furniture, so I just put that experience there. So it's back to me, and I'm going to do 1 damage, take 1 damage. So take 1 damage, and the first greyling has taken 1 damage. So now it goes back to this character. And so he takes 2 damage, unfortunately. Ouch. And does nothing. So we go back to the other side. So no damage. This is not going well. So over here, so we got 1 damage and an exclamation mark. Exclamation mark doesn't do anything, but this 1 greyling is gone, and we get a resin. And then we go back again. So now it's the block as well. So 2 damage, 2 damage. So I kill it, and it does 2 damage to me, but it's dead, and we've cleared it out. And now we can open the chest. We get a resin for killing the bad guy, and we open the chest and we get 1 bronze and 1 coin. So that chest goes out of the game because you can only get the results once, and a different chest will have different contents. So that goes there. And what we will now do is, so that's the end of my first turn. I moved. So second turn, I am actually going to go into here, and that's my movement, and then I'm going to cut the wood. Now, because I have a flint axe, if I roll a 1 on the gathering or 2 on the gathering, I'm going to get a +1. So I'm just going to roll this out. I get a single, but it actually is 2 because I'm using an axe. Okay. So third action, turn ends, and so yep, we are going to draw another card, and the card is all is quiet for now. Perfect. Back to the first character. So he is here. He's gonna have to move anyway. What do we need? We don't really need. So what he's going to do is he is going to, unfortunately, kind of waste a turn a little. Or does he go explore? So he's quite low on health, and so actually he's going to move 1, 2. He's going to gather some furs because we want to make some more armor. So great, we got a 2. So that's great. We get 2 furs. So, and then with his third action, he's going to go 1, 2, okay? But that was his third action, but he gets a free, because of the hammer, he gets a free construction action. So with his construction action, I'm going to probably just craft some item. So what he's going to do is he's going to construct the spiked shield for free, and that is going to be 2 wood and 1 bronze. So we've used our bronze and 2 wood, and so we are going to, he's going to construct that shield. It's not a piece of furniture, so he doesn't get the bonus to his, he doesn't get the experience to fill up his bar, but hopefully we'll get that next turn. He ends his turn. Because he ends his turn in the house, he gets 1 health, and then we get the event. So all is quiet for now. Perfect. So I'm going to just go back and forth, play a few turns. If something happens that requires or is something that we can explain, then I will get back and just show you again. But we're just going to move the game on a little bit. Okay, so we've moved forward a couple of turns. So we've now crafted the food table. He's now at full experience, so he's going to get a +1 when using his hammer. But one of the things that we've just come up on, he's going to draw a honey. So he draws a honey from the pot, and this honey will give him +3 stamina when he uses it. So he can keep it on his board there, and because it's honey, it can go in any of those 6 slots. The top 2 slots are for rerolls, the second 2 slots are for potions, third 2 slots are for bombs, but he can put honey in any of those slots. You can only get honey once per turn. So he's been in there, he spent 1 action, free action to craft. He crafted a leather tunic with an action. He got honey with his 3rd action. And then what shall we do? I was going to craft another shield. So I'm going to craft a shield over here. So I'm going to craft a shield and drop it here in the house for free. So basically I can craft it and drop it in the house. And then that is his turn finished. So we'll just draw a card here. Okay, great. So the forest is moving. So what's going to happen when the forest is moving is Eikthyr is going to show up in and I can choose which of these I want her to show up in, but we're going to do it down here. Or shall we do it here and just get some resources and fight? Let's put it here. So basically what's going to happen now is for the next 3 turns we are going to be collecting Greylings, and then eventually we're going to get attacked by 3 elite Greylings, which is going to be painful. No, I mean it should be okay. We've got 3 turns, so 1, 2, 3. Yeah, should be okay. It gives us a little bit of time to prepare. Now, what I'm thinking is, so that was the end of his turn. So what I was thinking is now, so as a free action, she can pick up the shield. So now we're quite geared. What we do need though is we need another. What I'd like to do is get fire on all of the weapons. So what I will do is. So the fire table is 2 resin and 2 wood. So what I'm going to do is on the first turn I'm going to go into here for 1, and I'm going to fight this Greyling. So now I have 2 armor and 1 yellow, and the monster has 1, so we will roll these dice and nothing. Load a block and 1 damage. And okay, I take 1 damage, but I give 2, so I take 1, and it goes down. So we get 1 resin, and then that was 1 move. With my second move, I'm going to move to here, because the first move, because I was fighting, stopped me. I'm going to move to here, and then with my third, I'm going to do collection again. So let me roll here. So I got a single, but because I'm using an axe, I get 2. So I get 2 wood. And my turn finishes. Now we don't draw a card now. Eikthyr is going to start building up his Greyling army to attack the house. So when he attacks a house, I could actually completely vacate it, and the Greylings, because there are 3 of them, will just break 3 of the items in my house. But I don't want that to happen right now. I think we can fight those Greylings and get the resources. So I am going to just wait a turn with that. And so what's going to happen next is I am going to go into... I'm going to move to here. I am going to do a collection, so I get 2 resources. Great. And then I am going to move back, and I can craft for free, so I am going to use these 2. and these two to craft a fire table. So let's make a fire table. So now we can, if we have more resin, we can ignite our weapons. So we've got 4 items in there. This is going reasonably well here. So what is now going to happen is end of the turn. That was a free craft. Sorry, free craft. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some more honey. So we moved 1. Oh no, we moved 1. We collected. We moved 1. Free craft. End of turn. We get 1 health. Okay. So next we put another grayling there, and then with this guy, right, do we need to make anything else at this point? Probably not really. Not especially. So what I'm thinking, I do want to be back in the house at the end of the turn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move back 1, 2. I am going to cook. So I'm going to turn the top card over, and because I have a food table, I get to turn 2. And then with my third action, I'm actually going to eat. So I'm going to eat the sausages, and the sausages will give me 4 health. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it is the end of the turn. Because I am in the house, I get 1 from the bed, so I'm back up to full health. And the grayling gets its third friend, and because there are 3, they attack. Now they're all elite, and we are outnumbered, but Eikthyr goes away, and we have to do this battle. So it triggered on this guy's turn, so it's him first. And we're going to just fight them one at a time. So we're going to do 2 and 1 attack. And we're going to roll. And we've got 3 damage, but because we're outnumbered, that is 4. We block 2 and we do 1. So we are going to take 2 points of damage. And we are going to do 1 point of damage to the first grayling. So it's going to be a tough fight, but we do probably want to try and defend our base. So we are going to go ahead and do it this way. So this guy over here now has 2 yellow. Has 2 yellow, 2 blue. And the monster has... Did I roll 2 last time or 1? I could go back and check, couldn't I? But anyway, I rolled 2. Anyway, Shogunai. Actually, no, it would have blocked it. So it would have done 1 damage. So I'll put 1 back. So it's going to roll 1 dice. And because I have a +1 now attack for any items that are made of wood, this hopefully will do a little bit more damage. So we'll roll. Now, we got all zeros. So 0 attack there. We blocked it, which fine. But we got 2 blanks here. What we could do is use this reroll, because we really want to try and kill one of these monsters this turn. So I'm going to reroll this and roll again. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my honey to get 3, 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to reroll all the dice again. So I'm trying to help my friend here. And this time we got... Okay, so we took no damage. We would have blocked if we took it. And we get 2. So what we can do is we can add 1 damage to this one. And do 2 to this and kill the first grayling, and we do 1 damage to the second grayling. Okay, so that's how I understand it works. So we basically get 1 resin for killing the first grayling, and 1 is down. So now at least we are 2 versus 2, so we're not outnumbered. So we go back to the first character and roll. So 1 damage, 2 block, no attack. So we go back to the... And we'll keep going like this. We use the reroll, so 1, 2, 3. Okay. So again, 1 damage, 2 to it. It dies. We get a resin, but I take 1 damage. Okay. And back to the first. So we're going to do 1 damage, block a load, so it's got 1 damage on it. So we just need to do 2 damage with this, so I just got to hit once, hopefully. Yep, so it goes down. It does 1 damage to us on its way out. And the fight is over. And we get another resin, which is great. So what we're now going to do is we are going to move. I just do another turn here just to show you. So let's flip that back over. So that fight has finished, and it is now this guy's turn. He's going to do an ignite on his weapon, so he's going to use 1 resin to add a fire to his weapon, so he's now going to do more damage. And then he is going to, he's a little bit low on health, so he's going to eat. He's going to eat this, so get 1 health and 3, 1, 2, 3 here. And then he's going to, he's going to cook, so he's going to flip that one and flip that one. And I think that was the end of his turn, wasn't it? Yes, he lit the weapon. So he could make something for free. He may as well, at this point, use this and make a stone throne. And the throne, what the throne will do is it will give 1 stamina at the end of the turn. So we've actually been really doing well here. And we now have the, oh, I could have got honey, but anyway, I've created the throne. So it finishes his turn there, because that's a free with the hammer. He finishes his turn there, so he gets 1 health and 1 stamina. No, 1 health and 1 reroll, because the throne gives you a reroll. So that goes in there. So now it is the other guy's turn. Still quite healthy, so I don't think I'm going to stress too much. I think I am going to go out exploring. We also need to get this at some point, and we also need to get all the way up there. So what we are going to do is I am going to go 1, 2, and open this. Okay, so we've found the Elder's summoning spot. This has a grey dwarf in it, but also can give bronze. Now I'm not too sure if we need bronze at this point. It would give us better weapons, but at this time I'm more interested in getting up here. So I'm just going to go 1, 2 into here, and a skeleton with a chest. Now unfortunately I've just run into a skeleton. Now the skeletons are actually quite hard to fight, so we'll use the next chest up, which is this one. So the skeletons are going to be, where did I put the monster deck? There it is. So the skeleton is going to be 2 attack dice. It's going to be 2 attack dice with the exclamation marks being 1 block, and it has 4 health. So I should have ignited my weapon first. So I should have ignited my weapon to do more damage. That was very, very stupid of me. And I'm going to retcon that, and I'm going to light my weapon. So in turn 1 I'm going to light the weapon, because that was the whole point of it. Turn 2, 1, 2. Turn 3, 1, 2. So I'm going to fight the skeleton and hopefully live. So the skeleton gets 2 attack dice now. So the skeleton does a big critty, which is a block, which blocks my 1. But I do 2 because I have the fire now. So I do 2 damage, 1 damage to it, and it does nothing to me. So that is 1 damage. So let's put 1 damage on here. And again, it does 2 damage to me, but I block 3, and I do 1 damage to it with a +1, so that does 2 damage. And then we go again. So it blocks 1, I don't do anything, nothing happens. Again, I do nothing, it does 1 damage to me and blocks 1, so nothing happens. I do 3 block, it does nothing. I do nothing, nothing happens. Okay, so I do 2 damage. I block 2, it does 1, so it dies and I am fine. Awesome. So that goes there, the skeleton dies, and now I can open the chest, and the chest is 1 fur, 1 coin. So we have 1 coin and 1 fur that goes to the communal pile. Wonderful. So that is turn end. I'm not in the house, so we flip the card here and it says thunderstorm. So no one can collect furs during their next turn. Okay, so this guy can't collect furs during their next turn. So we're back to the start, and we are going to so this guy, I mean, we got a pretty healthy looking house. I don't think we need to craft anything else at this point. Defeat a monster while being outnumbered. Oh, he's done that. He defeated a monster whilst being outnumbered, so he also triggers his other ability. So you may reroll for... Oh, it's dual wielding, so I can have a second weapon if I want. That's interesting. But I'm not sure I want to do that because I've got a decent amount of armor. So this one is 2 different combats on your turn, and this one is defeat a monster without taking damage. He did defeat a monster without taking damage, so that is 1. Okay, got to remember this because obviously I keep forgetting. So let us push on. So this guy now, we know the elder thing is there, so we need to go collect this. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to go 1, 2. He's going to... If he had a ranged weapon, he could ambush this, which means he gets a free shot. And if he hits or misses, this guy would move in if he doesn't die. But anyway, he doesn't have a ranged weapon, so he's going to make another step to here and engage in combat. So 2 yellow, 2 blue against this grayling. So he does 1, 2, 3 plus 1 fire, so plus this, so he does 5 damage. He does 1 back, but I block 2, so nothing, and he goes down. We get a resin, but that stopped his movement. But now what I can do is I can roll to see if I can pick this up. So what I'm trying to do is get two hands, and I actually do roll 2 hands. So he picks this up and it goes back to the stash. Great. So was that a Bikuri 2 hands? It was a Bikuri 2 hands. So this comes in here, and the neck is going to fight us. Now the neck card is here. So the neck rolls 1 black dice for each health it has. So 1, 2, 3 to start off with. I have 2 armor and 2 yellows. So we're starting to get to a whole bunch of dice here. So it does 2 damage to me. I block 2 damage, and I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the neck dies. And we get, as a gift for winning, we get a food card which we eat immediately. So 3 health, 1 stamina. So he's up to almost full health, full stamina. That's great. But we picked up the antlers as well, so that's good. The only thing we really want to maybe check for is whether or not we can find Holder to maybe buy an item. So that might be worth doing. We're also ahead of the game at the moment, so it might be worth doing things quickly, because each of these cards that's remaining when we challenge the boss is 1 less hit point. Okay? So that was his 3rd action. So we're at 1, 2, 1, and picked it up. So that's the end of that turn. And we will go to here. So this one is Heavy Rain. So ongoing effect. While this card has a red on it, players ending their turn outside lose 1 stamina. So what happens now is, because there are 2 players, I will put 2 red cubes on here, and it goes onto the top of the event deck up here. You can't see it, but it goes on top of the event deck, and we won't pull another event until these clear. But at the end of the turn, you will lose 1 stamina and it will disappear. So it happens on the next player's turn. So what will happen now is it will be his turn again. So he will go 1, 2 to here. We will search here. So we found the stag altar, and that's in there. And there is a grayling there. And I will then attempt to pick up the antlers. So roll. It's a single hand, so I don't get it. I will try again on my 3rd action. I do not get it again, and it has an exclamation mark, so that this guy moves in. So there is a fight, and we will go for 1, 1, 2 against 1. So off we go. So I do 1 with the fire, 2 damage, and I block it so I don't take any damage. So I defeat the monster without taking any damage, so I get another experience. So I probably want to trigger that at some point so I can get extra. I can get an extra damage on all of my weapons that use 1 dice. So he's gone. We get a resin. And then I still haven't picked up the stag, but it's the end of my turn, so we take this off, and because I was outside at the end of my turn, I take 1 stamina loss, and it is this guy's go. So he is going to go move into here to open this up, and 1, and then there's a troll in there, which is not good. I do not really want to fight the troll, because the troll is a beast. So just to show you, the troll has 3 black dice, has armor piercing, if you get an exclamation mark, and has 7 health. So you really don't want to mess with that if you don't have to. So I will go. So that was 1, and then into here for 2. So hopefully. Ooh! So I found Haldir's location, but I walk into 2 of these things. Now, this character is actually within 2. So if he spends a stamina, which he will do, he can come and help the combat. Okay? So now we are fighting 2 of these things. We get 2 grey dwarves in here. And we have to do the fight. So the grey dwarves are only 1 attack dice, thankfully, and the exclamation mark is actually an additional damage, and they have 3 health. But hopefully, should be doable. So this guy's got 2 yellow, 2 blue, and 1 of those, and we will fight. So 1 damage, which is blocked, does 1 damage, +1, +2, so it takes 3 damage, kills it. Great. So that's 1 down, we get 1 stone. And then the second one is this guy over here, so he loses 1 attack dice. And does no damage, takes no damage, go again. Does no damage, soaks 1. So takes no damage. Oh, sorry, rotates back to this guy. So he would do no damage, take no damage. I'm not going to use his reroll because we are pretty much in control of this fight. So, whoops. We're going to go rotate back. So does 2 damage, takes 1, blocks 2. So the grey dwarf goes... Nope, doesn't go down yet. Takes 2 damage. So we go back to the guy with the spiky shield, who takes him down and who blocks that 1 damage coming back from the grey dwarf. So grey dwarfs are both down, and so his move was from here was like 1, 2. So now he moves into Haldir. No, won't actually. Right, so he's actually got, he's got the, so he needs one that costs wood. And she won a combat without taking any damage again, so that is there. So this is where you have to start thinking. So one of them can go shopping in Halder because we've got 3 coins, so we can get free items. So we'll look at that in a second. But what I'm trying to think is which of the weapon, who has the weapon that is the most useful at the moment. Now, if we look back here, and just let me take a quick look at the weapons and see if there's anything worth improving to. Right, so there really isn't unless we go over and get some bronze from over here. So what I am going to do is I am going to send him into here. No, he's got the best stuff. So I am going to send him for his next. So he went 1, 2. He's going to go 1, 2 into here, and he's going to try and pick up the antler horns. We do need these horns before we can move on. So he rolled 2 without an exclamation mark. So he gets the horns, which is great. And that is the end of his turn. That disappears. He loses 1 stamina, and that event is gone. So we're doing pretty well here. This is a pretty solid go of it. Right, so back round to this guy. He is going to move into Haldir, and now we are going to spend 3 coins from here, and we are going to shuffle this deck and look at the top 3 cards, and we can buy one of these top 3 cards. So we have the Crystal Battle Axe, which is a 2-handed weapon, which is basically a red and a yellow with +2 damage. So that's pretty badass. We have the Cloak of Odin, which gives +1 to gathering and a block, which I'm not sure is that useful at the moment, but I guess it's just as good as a shield, so might as well swap it out. And the last one is the Hood of Odin, which is, oh okay, so I mean in this boss fight it's not going to help, but this would be immunity to cold, to poison, and to armor piercing, and would give 1 health. So sorry, 1 block. So looking at this, if I take this, it's 2-handed, so I'm going to lose the shield, but it's going to do a ton more damage. So I'm pretty sure that is what I am going to do. So I am going to take the big axe. So we're going to put those there. And so I am going to drop the flint axe, so I lose the fire on it as well. And I'm going to put the big crystal axe in here, crystal battle axe. And then I am going to hightail it back, I think. So now we're pretty much set. We probably want to, I really would like to get some more bits and pieces to fuel me, so I'm going to go 1, I moved here for 1, and then did the exchange. So I'm going to go 1, 2 to here, and that's the turn finished. So we're going to look at this, and it is Pork Opportunity. So it's a 1/1 boar, and if I beat it I get a free food, so I'm definitely going to do that. It has 1, I have 1 block now, and then I have 1 red and 1 yellow. So I do 2 damage to it, 4 damage to it, because I get the significant pluses to it. So I do 4 damage to it, and it dies, and I get a free food, and hopefully I can get something with a lot of, nope. I get 3 health and 1 stamina. So I get 1 stamina and 3 health, so I'm at maximum health. And I mean, actually it doesn't really matter because I don't have much stamina. So my skills and abilities don't really help in the boss fight. So And he's actually pretty healthy. So maybe we just trigger the boss straight away, actually. Maybe it would be good to get some potions or some honey or put fire on his weapon. This is the dilemma, because we're into the second half of the deck now, so we've still got a few turns to go. So what I'm going to do is, just because obviously I want to show you guys how the game works and everything else, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go trigger the boss. So he is going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, and take an action to summon the boss. So when you summon the boss, these decks at the top disappear, and what happens is this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have the boss is 10 hit points less when we start. Hopefully this will go reasonably quickly. So you flip it over here. We have the boss here. Well, just give me a second. I'm going to just zoom in a little bit. And what we're going to do is we're going to place our characters. So this guy will stand here maybe, and this guy will stand here, and Eikthyr will spawn facing the character who triggered the spawn. Okay, and now we're going to move to a different boss deck. So firstly we're going to take the damage and we are going to count down 10, because that's the amount of cards we had. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the boss starts with that many health, and then what happens is you roll again, same as with all the other battles really. You roll at the same time. So the boss is going to have, as you can see here, 3 attack. Okay, and we are going to be using this guy here, so he has 2 yellow, 2 blue. Okay, and we are going to roll for damage. Okay, so first what we do is we take the damage that we do to it. So we do 1, 2, 3, and we do 1 from the fire, so that's 4. And we do 1 for his power, which is 5. So he's going to do 5 damage to the boss. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we've got 2 blocks here, and we have 3 exclamation marks. Now unfortunately, each of these exclamation marks triggers a card. So this could be very painful. So the boss has 3 different things. So you have blank, which means it turns 1 square towards the person. If it's facing and it does a damage, then it does an additional damage. But in this instance, it's the 3rd one, which is an event card. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn the event cards one by one. So the first event is ramming attack. All players on the 2 spaces in front of Eikthyr, so here and here, take 1 damage per exclamation mark. So 1 damage, but we block 2, so 1 damage to this character. Okay. Hang on. Players may discard a reroll to move to an adjacent space to dodge the attack. Spend this if required, which it would be. I'm not going to sorry, I moved to here, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to take the 1 damage on that one. So the next one up is, so Eikthyr heals 1 for each player in the 2 spaces in front of him, so he's going to heal 1. Okay, and then until the next arena card is drawn, players take 1 damage when performing the move action, but that's not going to happen because we get another action card. So the next action card is Bolt of Electricity. So the active player takes 2 damage per exclamation mark. Oh my god. And then all players on the same or adjacent spaces take 1 damage per exclamation mark. So he's actually going to take 6 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and he goes down. Oh dear. Well, bugger. I was not expecting. That was pretty brutal. Normally you don't throw, I mean, this is basically 3 6s, or the equivalent of 3 6s. So that was pretty unlucky, but unfortunately he has gone down and is out of the fight. So it is now this guy's turn, and he only has one protection dice. Because he's using a two-handed crystal battle axe, and off we go. Oh, he's used that as well. So anyway, so 2 damage, blocks 1, so takes 1 damage. Oh, does his own damage first. So does 2. Okay, plus 2 is 4 damage. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Because Eikthyr gets 1 blank, he turns 1 square towards me. So he doesn't face me yet, which means this is just 2 damage, and I block 1. So I take 1 damage. And then he gets 1 exclamation mark, so he's going to get another one of his action cards. This one is Paralyzing Current. So no player can move until the next arena card is drawn. So I can't move, but I can attack. Oh, I can. The one thing I forgot is you get 2 attacks. My bad. But he didn't live through the first attack anyway. So now it would be my turn. I would get a second action. But it really doesn't matter at this point because it's just 1 versus the boss. So we will go again. So, I am going... Oh, I don't have the energy. So this is where maybe I should have gone and got stamina. Oh, no, it's to move. I wanted the reroll. Okay, so anyway, this is not good. We do no damage to it, and we take 1 damage, but it's also turned to face us, so we take an additional damage. And then we've also got an exclamation mark. So we take 2 damage, and because we have an exclamation mark, we take the next one, which is a shock attack. All players drop an equipment card on their space. Okay, so we drop an equipment card on our space, which is okay for us because we weren't really using the shield anyway. So it would normally go to the other player now because I've had 2 actions, but because it's just 1 character left, we will keep going. So we really could do with a nice big one without taking any damage here. So we got 1 plus 2 is 3 damage to Eikthyr. So 1, 2, 3. And we take 1, but because it's facing us, 2. So 1, 2. Okay. And then with the second action... Come on, come on. The second action. Oh, my word. So, luckily, we do no damage. But it does 1, because it's facing us, 2 damage. But we block 2. And it does no other damage with those 2, because no exclamation marks. It would just basically turn to face us. So, we lived through that round. Remarkably. So we go again. So it's the next action. And we have 1, 2, plus 1, 2. So we do 4 damage to Eikthyr. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we kill Eikthyr. Now, we would actually also take this damage and go down. But because we killed it, we would win the fight. So that's the boss fight. That is the game. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments down below. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. It's pretty long. I hope if you've managed to stay all the way to the end, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy Valheim. I hope you enjoy the board game. I hope you enjoyed this little playthrough. And I hope to see you in another video soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye for now. Bye bye.